Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we bring it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
To follow on TV wherever you are watching us from due to your geographical location. Welcome to Focal Online TV where we bring innovation to broadcasting and welcome officially to September 14, the edition of Inside the Print Media. So all we do here on this platform, we read out our top stories in our country like Europe from our news sources. So let's look at the review of our newspapers we have in studio for today. Today, we have the full page Africa newspaper, we have the Daily newspaper, we have the Hot Pepper newspaper along with the New Down newspaper. Moving forward, we have our international news, and that is our source for today is ABC. So let's go quickly into our headlines revision. Under the Daily newspaper, you see one of the headline is court order independent autopsy on shallow Muslim body. Court orders independent autopsy on shallow Muslim body. Another headline under the Observer newspaper reads Catholic Bishops Conference calls for peaceful elections. Catholic Bishops Conference calls for peaceful elections. And then we move quickly to the New Dawn newspaper. One of the headlines states Yanti condemns drug importation. Yanti condemns drug importation. That is one of the headlines under the New Dawn newspaper. Another headline under the New Dawn newspaper reads, "We are not bringing in drugs. We are not bringing in drugs. We are tails-born citizens doing a campaign rally." That is the last headline under the New Dawn newspaper. And then we move quickly to the front page African newspaper. But before then, let's start with the Hot Pepper newspaper, where we have the headline President Weah connects more homes in Bonn to CLSG electricity. President Weah connects more homes in Bonn to CLSG electricity. And then we move to front page African newspaper where we have two headlines. One of the headline reads, "Not dead. CDC campaign manager says two men involved in accident are receiving treatment." Not dead. CDC campaign manager says two men involved in accident are receiving treatment. So this is how we move to the next headline. Liberia war on drugs. Allegation of cover-up surround massive drug importation as airport suspends security director. That is from the front page African newspaper. Moving forward to our international source, that is the ABC, we have FDA issues warning letters to CVS, Walgreens, other companies over unapproved eye products. This is coming from the ABC, and this is our international source. So let's take a short break, folks. When we get back, I begin with the Daily Observer newspaper, as I'll fill you in the interesting top stories from this newspaper as it relates to the court orders on independent autopsy of Shalom Musu body. That is our first start this morning. And if you are driving and if you are moving forward to work, I want you to know that there is always something good about every bad situation. There is always something good about every bad situation. Regardless of how it will come or what transpired, whatever it may be, there's always something good about a bad situation. And don't forget, today is September 14th, 2023. And today is a day that you can keep pushing, you can keep doing what you are doing and being you. And trust me, at the end of this weekend, you're going to yield a positive result. Remember, in every bad situation, there is a good one. In every bad situation, there is a good outcome. So, in every bad situation, there is a good lesson learned. There is something good about every bad situation, just so you know. So, let's take a short break, folks. My name is Greg Finansipa. When I come back, we will commence with the details of a newspaper as it relates to the independent autopsy that should be done on the late Shalamusu body. Stay with me, please. This is Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Insider Print Media.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible informations of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Toba. My name is Finan Korishpa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Insider Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. It's such a great thing to have you here with us and watching and following us on our live stream here in studio. Welcome back to Focal Online TV. Welcome back to the daily edition of Insider Print Media. Here with your presenter, Greg Finan Courage Bar, along with your co-presenter,
Lyndon Toba.
and we are here this morning to do what we usually do, to bring to you information relating to our country, Liberia, and the world at large. If you are watching us from the diaspora, a pleasant good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you. And if you are watching us from this motherland of ours, we say a pleasant good morning to you. And let's begin business this morning as we commence with the data of a newspaper. The headline reads, Court orders independent autopsy on Shalamusu body. Court orders independent autopsy on Shalamusu body. Judge Roosevelt Willie has directed the Ministry of Justice to allow an independent expert to conduct an autopsy on the corpse of Shalamusu. The deceased is at the center of a high-profile trial involving former Chief Justice Flora Musu's court and three other alleged masterminds. The criminal court C-Judge decision came in response to a request made by the defense team, which argued that an independent examination of the deceased body was necessary to ensure transparency and integrity in the trial. The state is hereby ordered to observe the body of Shalamusu as long as the autopsy has not been conducted, because his court has been informed and decided that the body should be interned. Wiley said in ruling while accepting the defense lawyer's request for a bill of information. According to Willie, if the pathologist conducting the autopsy comes from outside of Liberia, the most important requirement is that the person meet or requirements set forth by the Liberian Dental and Medical Board. The pathologist should possess certificates containing autopsy from a recognized medical institution, and the doctor should also have all requirements as may be necessary to enable him or her to conduct such autopsy. These requirements for the autopsy should be submitted to this court through the counsel 4 or 5 days prior to conducting the autopsy. To enable the court to seek necessary advice from expert witnesses, the judge ruled. Scott lawyers requested, which the judge had now granted, cast doubt on the findings of an autopsy conducted by Dr. Benedict Coley, a pathologist hired by the government, revealed that Musu, a relative of former Chief Justice, was stabbed multiple times. As a result, she died from internal bleeding. Coley's autopsy report and circumstance leading to the deceased led to the government indictment of Scott and 3 other family members of the crime of murder and criminal conspiracy, among others. As the most sought after pathologist locally, Coley has claimed in his report that Musu's death was associated with a collapse in the left lung after excess blood clotting defects. She drained most of her blood out, and the bleeding came mostly below the rib, which caused the blood inside the chest. She was stabbed multiple times. And so much blood inside the chest. That is why we have gathered from the preliminary result of the autopsy with all the need evidence we need. He added that at least 20 persons witnessed the autopsy say it was an open one to determine the scientific cause of her death. However, lawyers of Scott and her co-defendants have so far expressed doubts about Coley's autopsy report and have been requesting the judge for some time to grant their request for an independent expert autopsy. Willie's decision to authorize an independent autopsy, according to legal experts, represents a significant development in the trial as it reflects his commitment to upholding the principles of justice and impartiality. Experts noted that the conduct of an independent autopsy would erase the fear of potential biases or conflicts of interest associated with the government sponsored autopsy, fostering trust in the trial and ensuring that the justice served. That specific or the specific related to the selection and qualification of the independent experts is expected to be closely examined to ensure their impartiality and expertise in forensic pathology. Their findings are expected to be presented as crucial evidence during the trial, aiding the jury in reaching a fair and informed verdict. The trial, which will likely extend beyond the August term of the court, has attracted significant attention due to the involvement of former Chief Justice and the gravity of the charges. Willie's ruling comes more than 4 months after the government failed in its attempt to release Musu's body to the families who resisted on grounds that the government had ulterior motives when it denied their numerous requests to bury their daughter. The deceased died on the home. The deceased died in the home of the former Chief Justice, Flora Musu Scott, who also happened to be her guardian in the nighttime hours of February 2022 or February 22nd. Sorry, the Minister of Information, Ledger, who then justified the release of the remains of the child to the family for burial as a result of a full investigation conducted by relevant authorities in connection to the case, and it has been sent to court. Renee's remark came after the biological parents of the deceased had left Monrovia for their home in Maryland County, becoming frustrated after waiting for a few months to have their daughter buried. But to not avail as the government claimed that the body was being kept for an autopsy. This is how we close down on the first headline of our news reading here. We now move over to another headline under the Daily Observer newspaper. Catholic bishops' conference calls for peaceful election. Catholic Bishop Conference calls for peaceful elections. The news reads this. The Catholic Bishop Conference of Liberia, CABRCOL, has called on political parties and candidates to maintain peaceful elections in the run-off to the October 10, 2023 presidential and representative elections. The group, which is highest decision-making body within the Catholic Church of Liberia, noted that the peace can be tested during the electoral period, which is why they are appealing to political parties and candidates to ensure that their supporters peacefully conduct themselves. Peace is one of the components we need in this country, said Reverend Father David Nimin, Secretary General of the Catholic Bishop Conference. Recalling, he said some of us are old enough to have seen what we went through in the past election time of our peace is tested. With a few weeks to polling day, October 10, 2023, schools of Liberians will vote for their new leaders or approve President George Weah of the Coalition of Democratic Change CDC second term bid, making a fourth democratic election since the end of the Civil War in 2023 and signing of the Accra Comprehensive Peace Agreement. There will always be winners or losers in an election, but we should all remember that we are one Liberia. We need all hands on deck to be actors of peace, said Father Nimin. The Accra Peace Agreement was signed during negotiation with warring factions in 2023 in 2003 to end the civil war in Liberia. Against this backdrop, experts have called on political parties to send out peace messages that promote democracy. It is important that the government ensures that these elections are free, fair, and peaceful. It must hold accountable those that will attempt to disrupt it, said Catherine Rivera, charged the affairs of US. This is how we move quickly to my co-presenter, Kian Sopa, who will fill us in from the Hot Pepper newspaper and the Front Page Africa newspaper. So it's up to you, Kian Sopa.
Thank you very much for such a beautiful piece this morning. From Page Africa newspaper, not dead. CDC campaign manager says two men involved in accident are receiving treatment. Contrary to earlier reports of a tragic incident involving two members of the coalitions of democratic change who were said to have fallen from the CDC branded pay cut, the party's campaign manager Len Yudin Nangwe has clarified that the two individuals are currently receiving medical treatment with doctors diligently attending to their recovery. Mr. Nangwe said the two men sustained injuries and described the accident as unfortunate. He admonished all partisans and supporters, all motorists alike to continue to exercise caution and drive with care, especially during this electoral period. The doctors are doing their utmost, and by God's willing, unbending grace, we are confidently grateful that they will recover, Nango said. We move over to another headline. Liberia war on drug. Allegations of cover-up surround massive drug importation as airport suspend security directive. Despite the passage of the drug law making the trading, importation, and sale of certain class of drug a non-billable offense, the war against drug in Liberia looks far from over with indications of cover-up from high places for traders and importers. This comes at a time when many young Liberians are heavily involved into the consumption and abuse of drug to the extent they are seen in public intoxicated with harmful substances. In May 2023, Liberian authorities admitted that they lost track of four men who were tried and exonerated from the seizure of $100 million worth of cocaine, a judgment that shocked Justice Minister Frank Musa Dane court calls by said by families a non guilty Liberian, South Guinea, and Portuguese and Lebanese men arrested in connections with the seizure. In October of 2022, 250 20 kilos of cocaine were an estimate of $100 million cocaine seized to the authority in the continent from Brazil. The judgment by a popular jury was all the more surprising as the court ordered the return of the suspect of 200,000 seized during their operations. The passage of the new drug law that proclaimed efforts to fight drug that the government of Liberia looks to be a mere terrain as the sources of the drug still entering the countries are being consumed by the population remains a mystery. Another mystery and trust in the fight against drug broke out on Sunday when it was reported that huge consignment of boxes containing what looked like drug entered the country through the Roberts International Airport. Immediately after the report of the huge consignment containing boxes, Rabat International Airport suspended one person and the Liberian Revenue Authority took control of the boxes to be turned over to the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency for further examination. With this being said, it brings us to the close of Front Page Africa newspaper. Back to you, Refina, for the continuations of local news.
Thanks to you, Caitlin. So we resume from the New Down newspaper standpoint, and one of the headlines is Yanti condemns drug importation. Yanti condemns drug importation. News in details. Opposition presidential candidate Reverend Sarah Besselo Yanti has strongly condemned the importation of illicit drugs in Liberia. The African Liberation League (ALL), that is Standard Barrier, has found on Liberian government officials who are allegedly involved in the importation of illicit substance into the country. On Tuesday, Liberian authorities confirmed the seizure of a consignment of illicit drugs at the Rabat International Airport (RIA), a contrast to earlier reports that the consignment in question contained herbal moringa leaves. The Ministry of Justice, through the Joint Security of Liberia, confirmed that the consignment of boxes intercepted revealed the presence of methamphetamine. In reaction, Madam Yancy condemned the vigilance of the armed forces of Liberia personnel for their role in alarming and seizing the drug at RIA site. She also stressed that her commitment to safeguarding Liberia's sovereignty against corruption and fairness practices is unwavering. She has previously pledged that if she will establish whistleblower accounts to reward loyal citizens whose actions lead to the arrest and conviction of individuals involved in drug trafficking in Liberia. In her press release, Yanti extended her heartfelt appreciation to the armed forces of Liberia personnel who intercepted the illicit drugs and promptly raised the alarm. She noted that this act of patriotism underscores the importance of collective efforts in combating the drug trade within our nation. The solution to the drug problem in Liberia goes beyond the rehabilitation of our affected children. It also involves interception, the importation of harmful substance. We must put an end to importation of drugs, she urged. Yanti added that the fight against the scourge is one of the essential pillars of presidential candidacy. The African Liberation League under Yanti leadership stands resolute in its dedication to eradicating the drug trade and protecting Liberia's future generations, she noted. Madam Yanti called upon all Liberian citizens to join in this vital mission to ensure a stable and drug-free Liberia. This is how we move over to another headline under the New Dawn newspaper. We are not bringing drugs. We are not bringing in drugs. We are telling citizens during our campaign rally. President John Maravilla has sharply reacted to his critics who continue to blame him for high increase of narcotic substance in the country. We are not bringing drugs. We do not even support the act. That's why our government has been doing all it can to arrest and prosecute those involved. We are scared. Most of his critics, including members of the opposition bloc, have been criticizing the administration for the high level of drug intake, which, according to them, has led to many youths being on the street. Some have been blamed that we as government for being part of the importation of narcotic substance in Liberia. But speaking to a cross section of citizens during a major political rally in Bone County, the Liberian leader said the statement from the critics that his government supported importation of drugs is a calculated plan to wreck the trust Liberians have reposed in him as they gear to his second term victory. They feel they can slide to buy and they feel they can lie to get your vote. Don't listen to them. We are scared he has a continuance to work or he has and continuing to work with the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency to make sure illegal drugs are fought and that the country can be what everyone wants. He referenced the U.S. ultra-million drugs that were confiscated by his government, adding that no way he wants be against drugs and then setting ablaze such a huge quantity of illegal substance. President Diaz's denial follows the contestation of buses continuing illicit drug over the weekend at the Roberts International Airport, RIA in Margibi County, which appears to have overshadowed the 2023 presidential and legislative elections. It all started with a contingent of the armed forces of Liberia, AFL details at the airport arrested and placed under investigation RIA security manager Samuel Freeman for his alleged attempt to smuggle several cartons of suspected contraband substance directly from the tarmac into a minivan using an unauthorized exit at the airport. The arrest followed denials and claims that the content in the box were mere moringa leaves flooded the local media, including social media, calling on the Liberian government to come clean. On Tuesday, 12 September, which marks 6 weeks into a tense campaign, the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Justice, confirmed that the consignment of boxes intercepted contained illicit drug methamphetamine. It is press statement signed by Information Minister Ledger Ukraine. Government confirmed that the consignment of boxes intercepted containing herbal plants packaged and in natural form at the Roberts International Airport fields of presence of methamphetamine. Methamphetamine is a powerful highly addictive stimulant that affects the central nervous system. It takes the form of a white, odorless, bitter-tasting crystalline powders that easily dissolve in water or alcohol. However, this is how we close down on the news segment from the New Down newspaper. It's been back to you, Kelly Totoba, who will fill us in from the Hot Pepper newspaper.
Thank you, Griffin and Steve, for such a beautiful cooperation. Hot Pepper newspaper. President Ria connects all homes in Bunk County to CLSG electricity. The President of the Republic of Liberia is tender bearer of proposals of democratic change that Dr. George Mundo has put huge smiles on the faces of residents of Palestine, several communities in all county, switching on the CLSG electricity and lighting up the first batch of homes already connected to the grid. Presidents, the Georgia-led government of the African Development Bank has been connected several times in villages as part of its rural electrification expansion project. About 4% of the 3,000 targeted homes in Palala and beyond immediately got hooked up to the CLSG plant. Electrified the president via switch on the facility which he had already let there be light. There was light. President Villa said on top of his voice as he pushed up the switch, triggering the jubilations of citizens and local officials headed by Superintendent Eston Walker. The Nigerian leader expected that electrification of rural and urban homes is his government way of giving back to his people to improve their socio-economic well-being. The, the lead project coordinator, Joseph Tai Williams, explained to President Diaz and Sent at a dedicated ceremony that all targeted 350 homes in Palala will, will be electrified before the end of the month. The 3,000 homes will benefit from the entire project upon its completion. President we are 10 citizens of Palala assuring him of his support to his re-election bid, which he said will enable him to undertake more developments in addition to what he has done. The president told citizens during the campaign rally he has been struggling to provide a better standard of life for them, particularly for young people who past government had neglected. I want to leave a legacy as a development president, he told a cheering squad of Palala citizens. With this being said, it brings us to a close of the Hot Pepper newspaper. Back to you for the international news.
Thanks to you, Kalinda. So, but before we move forward for a short break for our international news, this issue with drugs being imported into our country is getting on the verge, and I feel there's a need to caution us Liberians who are participating within the aspect of selling drugs to our brothers and sisters. You see, illegal drugs being sold in Liberia is of no good. Illegal drugs being sold in Liberia is of no is a bad substance that hinders our health. So there's no need for us to be selling them. We still love our country. This is our motherland. Why will RIA head of security even be trying to import drugs into our country, knowing his status and where he worked? That is the RIA. But it comes again with self gain. I mean, people, you see, sometimes we need to really, really be careful what we say.
Well, the issues about illicit drugs is very, very dangerous for our country, Nigeria. Uh, the action taken by the government to suspend the security director at the airport, Mr. Freeman, I think that is not totally sufficient for me.
Totally, it's not.
Yeah, I think he should have been either dismissed and further prosecuted.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of people are saying that suspension is not just satisfied, it doesn't in any way prove that the government is very serious. For me, it is a partial action taken against the government. I think all those connected to this particular saga should be made to face the full weight of the law.
Yeah, just so you said something, right? It's partial, and someone who is thinking out of the box will feel they have a line in this issue. Will feel some government official have and has a line in this particular issue of the drugs being imported. I'm hearing this saga going around with the chief of staff in
Yeah,
the middle.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. And then she has something to do about it. So I mean, it's kind of because when someone who work with a government entity or someone who work at a prestigious area and being involved in things that are illegal, they should be dismissed immediately.
But Griffin, here's the thing.
They should be dismissed immediately.
Can you imagine the security director for the airport? So it means the kind of impression I'm getting here is that this is not the first time
No,
this guy
no, no,
has been,
it's not.
this guy has been smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
That has been a regular transit point of
Yes.
drug. He has been mostly involved. It's almost like a kickback. Whenever you smuggle that particular portion or that particular consignment of the drug, he gets he gets a kickback from that particular action and on and on until God finally grab him.
Yeah, so I think it's bad. It's actually bad. And President George Manuel will always be accused, allegedly accused of these things because there are actions that he should be taking as a president, and he's not taking that action, and he's not executing his power when it relates to that direction. I feel if you find a director of RIA security and being involved into the issue of drug, knowing that people are talking about drugs relating to your campaign, people are saying you are part of the drug saga within Liberia, immediately that man should be called to justice and he should be dismissed.
And
It
one of
should
the
be
things,
dismissed.
yeah, one of the things you could be right, and that's a very fine recommendation. One of the things, considering the fact that the airport, the AFL is currently at the airport, and based upon their presence, they were able to, they were able to bring that information to the public. I think until that particular investigation can be brought to a logical conclusion, I want to believe that the police, the government needs to take a step ahead and say, between now, the entire airport should be heavily protected by the AFL personnel.
You see, it's just hard to do, right? Because even you saying the airport should be highly protected by AFL personnel, you see, just imagine the head of security, director of
Director for them.
security being. I mean, it's something that is terrifying. It's something that doesn't
Very,
bring
very
joy.
terrifying.
Yes, it's terrifying. It doesn't bring joy to us because we expect these people to be protecting us. That's the reason why we give them that certain authority. But then you see all of a sudden someone you entrusted, someone you give authority to, is not even working in line with what you're doing. They are definitely on another lane while you are on another lane. So how can you even be sure and say that even if you deploy an AFL person or you deploy an AFL person to the airport, we're gonna be protected? I mean, I see everything we're doing like bread just by God's grace. Because even people we trust as leaders or as managers to protect us or to have us first at the verge, it's not even looking into that. It's not even looking into that direction. They are looking at aiming for themselves. All of the money that's gonna come out or that was gonna come out from the drugs is gonna go to that man.
And one of the things about it, the higher court government proposals where when they dispose the higher court the suspicious boxes, a lot of them start saying, but America,
Yeah, they say
America,
America.
America.
Yeah.
So then yet still the people were the media was so much concerned. You understand? Let us take this thing for further testing and based upon what the media recommended, and and it actually proved that those suspicious boxes contain drug. You understand?
But if you understand from the news narrative, you will realize that even if it was not a harmful substance, why did he use the wrong route? Because he did not pass the entry that he should have passed like any other person or he usually pass. But he decided to take another entry which was totally wrong. So it brings us suspicion. If you are carrying something that is not, if you are carrying something that is good enough for health and is an ordinary marine can leave, why not pass through
Why not pass through
the
the
regular,
point?
yeah, the referral point? But instead he decided to take another turn. That means there was something that was wrong.
But one of the things I want to believe is that passing through that unregulated point means that I think he was trying to shield those boxes. Maybe during the air after everybody should have left the airport, then he tried to he just tried to move freely with it. I mean that was what he actually wanted to do.
So I joined my boards with the senior burial of the all party, Madam Besno,
Yeah, the
as she said that it's not all about rehabilitation. It's not all about rehabilitation. It's about it's about total guidance by the RIA. It's about total guidance. It's about people being effective in what they are being paid for, and not about putting ourselves first. I feel that if the drugs, will open rehabilitation center. No, no, no. It's not all about rehabilitation center. Even you open rehabilitation center, people are being rehabilitated, but you see there'll still be a regenerational issue where you move someone from this place, they are not drug addict anymore, another group is coming up. Where are we going? It's just circulating. It's just circulating. So it's not about rehabilitation center. It's about us taking effect at the moment where rules, laws, guidelines should be taken to be effective.
One of the profound way to fight these issues about illicit drug entering our country, it firstly has to start with the security.
Yes.
You understand? And they need to make sure that our when all those transit points are fully protected. You understand? When those places are protected, then I think will minimize who they can come up with our rehabilitation strategy. You understand? But what the thing, once the point is pretty accessible, then mean that people who is there, one day we will notice that one person will come from being after being rehabilitated, he gets involved into the same habit again, and on and on and on. So we then have a replica of the same situation over and over.
Yeah, a repeating situation. So it's now about rehabilitation center. There's a need for George Manulia to improve, to step up on his game because this particular incident can hinder his campaign or can hinder Sari or his come October.
Yeah, but that has been the least that has been the least campaign message for the opposition people.
Yeah.
We don't push, we don't push.
Yes. So you hear tradition on the other end and
Yeah.
push with leg.
We
We let push. So I mean, these are it's silly. That slogan you are talking about, that slogan you are chanting with, is silly. Let me say that to you. If you feel downhearted about it, it's silly. As a young person looking at our present situation in sense of drugs, and you are saying to yourself that you love push, it's silly. That doesn't speak more of you as a young person. So stop saying that. You love your president for what you love him for, regardless of the issue of drugs. But don't utter that thing. We love push. We love push. What do you know about push that you love push? Is it good for you? If you love it, why are you not taking it, or you just saying it because you want to say it? Sometimes you think before you say things.
say something.
You think before you say things because it sometimes go along with you on a very long way. So before you order a word to say, or before you say something, or before you even talk to someone, reflect on what you're about to say. Is this thing good for me? If this thing that I'm going to say will be impactful, then will be able to say it. So why is the impact one for someone who have not yet decided to vote? What is the impact that has on that person that you tell the person we want push? It's push a good thing. Young people, let us stop all of these things. It's not about you being dramatic. It's not about you being so involved into politics. It's about you reasoning and knowing what is right. So if you say we love push, we will somehow be in line with you and be in line with others that your president or President George Manuel, who is the president of Liberia, is in the know of push being involved in our country.
Oh, definitely.
Because you're saying we love push, and
when
knowing that.
and when supporters have gathered on the street and chanting the slogan that we want push, automatically it means that President Weah is actually endorsing the importation of sexual in the
So
country.
you have to be careful how you say these things because I mean it comes back to you. So whenever you say something like I said, reflect on it, know what is helpful to you, is impactful to you first, and then if you can accept that, if you can accept that, then you can be able to talk to someone. There's a need for a solution. Go back into your cover and change that slogan. It's not important. It's silly, and I will condemn that act from young people and from older people. It's silly. Let's take this short break, folks. My name is Gertrude. I'm Courage Bar. Call me Courage when I'm talking about serious issues. And I'll be right back with my co-presenter. His name is, and we will fill you in on our international news. But with that being said, do have yourself a pleasant day. I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Just give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back to complete the aspect of the daily edition of Inside the Print.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Toba. My name is Gertrude Courage Bar. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media,
Okay, welcome back, folks, to the daily edition of Inside the Print Media. This is how we conclude on our news segment for today. So we commence from we begin from our international news headline, and today our international news is from the ABC. standpoint. So our source for today is the ABC. So let's stay listen to what is happening here on ABC platform as our news source. So FDA issue warning letters to CVS workers of the companies over unapproved eye products. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued letters to several companies, including major pharmacy chains, this week warning them against manufacturing or selling unapproved eye products. Letters were sent to CVS and Walgreens as well as six manufacturers, claiming the products are illegally marketed as being able to treat conditions including cataract, glaucoma, and pink eye. Some of the letters also addressed quality control issue at the companies concerning the safety and sterility of the product. Nearly 3 weeks ago, the FDA warned the public not to use a certain product due to the fears of potential bacterial or fungal contamination. This is how we close down our news for today, looking at America giving warning to their entity FDA issuing warning to these manufacturer. It's a mind blowing something. It's something that melts my heart, knowing that these people are not just being at that place because they want to play. They are protecting the citizens, they are protecting the health of each citizens residing within America. Thanks for watching, folks. Do have yourself a blessed day. Hope you understand it's always something good in every bad situation. My name is Raj Par, and I serve as your presenter here today on the discussion of Inside the Media. Until I see you tomorrow, do have yourself a blessed day. I love you, and I'll be right back again tomorrow to fill you in on top stories relating to our culture, Liberia, in the world at large. Let me say this to you. Bye bye.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world